Alright, it's started me relatively in the middle. Yeah, yesterday or the day before, I can't remember when it was, I forgot I had switched some of my settings, so I put it back up to 4x anti-aliasing and 8x anisotropic, and it looks quite good at those settings. I love that feedback pop from the engine. Well, that was an interesting start from those guys. Come on. There's no grip out there. Wow, that guy got a heck of a run out of turn one. Alright. Well, we almost made it through Eau Rouge side by side until he decided to hook my rear quarter panel. I was just about to commend him too. Tyrannosaurus checks. I like that name. Oh, this is a mess. I don't know how I made it through that without any more damage. Can't remember if a tire wear is on for this or not. I think everything is on. Except maybe mechanical damage. I didn't quite hug that the way I wanted. But I had a good exit. When the tires are new, they feel fantastic. Surprised that's not a slowdown. In iRacing, that's an off track. That tiny little bit of my left wheels over the thing. Well, I should say my right wheel's over it. That looks bad. Oh, nice. Have they said when? Because that would be cool to get a full-blown rally sim. He's got so much less downforce on than I do. And he was willing to brake a lot later than I was. Oh, that guy's dead. And that guy's dead. Awesome. Oh, people are stupid. I'm gonna give him the line and the space. Don't know what that Ferrari is thinking he's gonna accomplish. You can't pass on the outside there. Oh, I'll have to look at it then. Maybe add it to my wish list. For a second there, I thought that guy's name was Jackson Pollock. I was like, that's funny. But then it wasn't. Well, we actually did go through there side by side. He just took a bad exit. Talk about bad exits. Oh, he got a really poor exit there too, though, if I'm still in front of him. Still surprised how often people spin at Spa, and in places that you don't have to spin at. Once again, why would somebody choose to restart the session when we're 3 laps in? It's like 7.5 minutes into the session, and you're like, yeah, let's restart it now. This is definitely one of those tracks, though, where slow and steady will get you a lot of free positions. Because people just take themselves out left and right, trying to go too fast. Well, luckily in a room this full, you have to have a lot of people vote yes, who aren't going to vote yes. Looks like I'm not very far behind the person in front of me. Looks like around 2 seconds, although that might be wrong now. Yeah, I really like Spa also, but again, with the racing this just over and over and over again just gets dull. I can like a track as much as I want. Like even Indy. Like I joked about running it 100 times, but realistically, in all honesty, I'll probably only run that, I don't know, 5, maybe 6 times at the most. I just get tired of doing the same thing over and over again, in short periods of time anyway. Like just sitting here and racing this track and this car all day long would just be awful to me. I've got to have my variety. Little late on my turn-in and brake point. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, realistically at this point, it's all of the sims tout it as, we laser scan our tracks, we're so special. But realistically, if you want to get track data in any sort of economical way, you just laser scan a track. So they're not doing it because it's better. They're not doing it because it's more awesome. They're doing it because it's the most efficient, cheapest solution they have to get that track data back in. It just also happens to be one of the most reliable, I guess. One of the most reliable ways to get accurate data. But yeah, Assetto Corsa, Race Room, iRacing, they all laser scan tracks. To be honest, what probably happens, in all honesty, especially for tracks like this, is there's probably one company that has the laser scan data that most likely sells it to them. Now, for tracks like Long Beach that iRacing has, they probably would have contracted somebody to grab that data, because it's not a super popular track. But yeah, they all make a big deal out of laser scanning, but they all do it. So it's kind of funny that they all make a big deal out of it. I do wish people did more multi-class stuff, though. Like having these cars on this track, also with production Z4s and M3s, that would be a fun combo. But nobody really does multi-class stuff. Although with that being said, Assetto Corsa itself doesn't really handle multi-class at all. You all just have your overall finishing order, so that might be part of it. It's a little harder to tell where you finished in class. For bigger fields, anyway. That is another thing that iRacing does very, very well, is their multi-class system. Although also, the whole grain of salt thing, having said that about laser scanned tracks, I have absolutely no idea how they scan rally tracks. So I do not know if those are all individually made or if they actually have a way to laser scan those. I feel like with how dense the forests are around a lot of them, they'd probably just be better off trying to hand make those. There's also a few tracks that don't cooperate very well with laser scanning. Like, as far as I know, Monaco hasn't allowed anybody to laser scan their track. That might have changed since the last time I saw that information, but last time I saw they didn't allow anybody to do it. Oh, was that another freebie? I think some of those rally circuits change fairly often too, in terms of some of the middle parts of those tracks. But with that being said, I am incredibly unfamiliar with rally, so that may be 100% off base. I like watching it every once in a while, but outside of that, I have no experience with it. So for all I know, you could tell me the tracks change every single year and I'd believe you. Because I just don't know enough about it. But I do have to imagine that laser scanning that would be really tough. Because that's usually done from overhead. And the forestation would just get in the way. Again, I guess it is possible they have other ways to laser scan. I guess you could always attach that device to the top of a car if you had enough patience. And just slowly run it through the circuit. That is one possibility. Of course, naturally, that wouldn't get you any of the data from the sides of the track, which would be part of the problem. But theoretically, you could just fill all that in anyway with whatever you wanted. So it'd definitely be possible to laser scan a rally track, just it'd be more difficult than the normal way they do for a big open circuit like this. This isn't the last lap? Oh, for sure I'd be on the last lap. Well, that's what actually made me think about it. In my head, I was just like, well, they have the Google cars for Street View, so they could probably rig up something similar with the laser scanning module, more or less. Because effectively it will probably look very similar, where it's just a big ball that sends and receives information. Oh, I completely missed my braking point because I went to hit no. It's so funny, people that vote to reset at the end, they don't realize it just automatically resets itself after the race is over. Oh, I'm gonna get a top 10 out of this. Not that it matters in any way, shape, or form, but yay, top 10. As far as I am aware, they do it, they rig it to the bottom of a helicopter. And it allows them to get a much wider swath of information at any one time. They may still have a car version of it that I'm just not aware of. But the ones that I've seen were always attached to helicopters on the bottom. Hey, my fuel just went yellow. That means... Actually, that means I had way too much fuel in. Oh wait, no it doesn't. I still have one more lap. Oh, I had to wheel on the brakes. It still just barely made the corner. That was a big old lockup. If this game did flat spots, that would have been 2 giant flat spots on the front. Although, if this game did flat spots, my right front would have had a flat spot long before that anyway. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to catch this gentleman in front of me. Unless he catches traffic in a bad way. He seems to be a little bit quicker. I'm surprised I have this car behaving so well, though. Oh, man. Once again, right as I open my mouth to praise my own setup, I then do that. I think I would have learned my lesson by now. But alas, I have not. I'll let the guy behind me catch up quite a bit. I should be good from here on out, though. I don't take this quite aggressive enough to get super slippery on it. Oh, it looks like he might have made a mistake behind me anyway. So 'twouldn't matter Haha, twitten. That's a fun word. I think my tires were starting to go off at the end, though. I actually finished all the laps. It's surprising there wasn't. I don't think there was any complaining at all. That's really awesome. Rare and really awesome. Oh, technically I finished 8th somehow. I was I was the 3rd Ferrari. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Where did I qualify? 13th. So I made up 5 spots. Yeah, 5 spots. Although there's 6 people who either didn't complete the first lap or didn't start. He got knocked out early. So did those 2. A lot of people finished that race though. Because all the people 1 lap down had to either have finished or been close to finish. So that's cool. That's a better finishing rate than Race Room gets, unfortunately. I wonder if this actually is racing. Even if it isn't, I think I'm going to go around for 7 laps and see if I can get it to finish and reset itself. That'd be kind of funny. Yeah, there actually are people in here going around. I'll use this as a practice session and then get it on the next one. Fuel is probably on. Most of these have it on. I legitimately like it being on more anyway. I think it makes it much more interesting. Alright, let's try the setup. Slam Jones. Slam bam, thank you ma'am. Never understood that phrase. Oh right, these stop in a hurry. Wow. That was a lot of instant oversteer. I think I have this thing pretty stiffly sprung, so I'll try to avoid the curbs. I may need to go softer on the springs. It's actually already pretty... No, that's pretty stiff. I was going to say it's pretty soft already, but... Then I remembered that higher is stiffer. That doesn't seem bad. That's all... That's actually all pretty soft. Go even softer on these. Oops. Also raised it a little bit to help negotiate these curbs. Because there's quite a lot of spots in Imola where you really have to use the curbs. I locked him up big time there. Yeah, that softer suspension really helps there. Still locking them up a little bit. It's really twitchy in some of these corners. Then as soon as I put some speed into it, it's pretty planted. So if I can stay away from locking the fronts, I should be pretty good with this setup. We'll just have to see how it is time-wise compared to some of the faster guys. That last corner is right on the edge. Alberto Escobar. I can probably go through there at a higher speed, really. That's such a tough corner. I think I need to try taking a later apex to it. Oh. Ah. I was on a good lap too. Although even with that incident, I'm still way ahead of my previous lap. Looks like I would have been about a 54 without that. And once you lock up the fronts, it's hard to get them rolling again. I feel like this setup is pretty good though. 57.
Hey, Angry. Is it working?
Oh god, you're so loud. 1 second. Say something again.
Sorry, I was so loud.
No, it's fine. It's not you. It's the settings I had on it. Because I couldn't hear people over the engines the last time in Autosport.
Wow, the clarity of this is so much better.
Yep. They've made it much better since a few years ago, and it's much, much, much better than Vent at this point. But my favorite part is just that you don't have to adjust individual people.
Now the question I have about this is I'm still going to have my voice streaming over grid, aren't I?
If you have the same push to talk button, yeah.
Okay, interesting. I may have to adjust that.
Well, that's like right now I just have it set to voice detection for myself. But again, if I was actually, like if I was playing with you in the same game, I would probably turn it to push to talk. So you didn't have to hear me talk to my stream, but...
The part that I was thinking was funny is, wow, that Justice guy just talks all the frickin' time. What the hell is he? Who is he talking to? Is he schizophrenic?
But yeah, that's one of the annoying things that some people do when they talk in Autosport with the same button, or when they don't have a button in Autosport, and you hear half of the conversation. It is always quite annoying.
Bad idea to me.
Do what?
That seems like a bad idea to me, to just have it to where it's the same button and then you're streaming for everyone to hear you talk to other people that aren't even in there.
Yeah, that's... a lot of people do that though, and it's really annoying. I like the fact that there's people online on this right now, though. I've noticed there's less and less crappy people on Autosport anymore. It's mostly the S&B guys anymore, and I'm not huge fans of most of them.
Yeah, not at all. I got into a pretty heated argument, and then I went back and watched the replay of what happened, and he was pissed at someone else, but he was accusing me. And then I was like so confused because I was like, dude, you kept pushing me off the track. You kept pushing me off the track. He's like, you ran up inside me. I was like, I was probably just running position. I mean, I didn't slam you or nothing. He's like, you hit me. I was like, I don't know if I did or not, but maybe I did. And then I went and looked back at the video, and no, someone forgot to hit the brakes and plowed into him. And I was like, oh, that's what he's so pissed about. It wasn't even me. I don't get it.
Yeah, some people just...
like,
sometimes they don't see a name and they just assume it was this person or the other person. And situations like that arise.
Yep.
By the way, let me guess, was that Moz?
Yes, it was, as a matter of fact. Why, did you end up hearing about it later?
No, that's just... that sounds like something he does all the time.
I was totally floored by it, and then he's like, I'm going to make your life miserable. And I was like, well, you already kind of do anytime I'm in any of your rooms.
But oh, you just made me spin off. By that I mean, I did it myself, but I'm blaming you.
I wrecked you, it's right.
Oh, when you get this car on the gravel, it doesn't turn. Which makes sense, it's not supposed to be in the gravel. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't want to take that guy out. Okay, there we go. Whew. That was close. I was doing some IndyCar at Iowa Speedway earlier, because it doesn't affect your iRating and iRacing this week. Well, that particular one doesn't. That car is unreal. Like with the setup I had on it at Iowa Speedway, 180 miles an hour all the way around, never, ever have to lift, ever.
Nice.
It's so cool. That IndyCar is just so fun. Speaking of that, did you see the Honda kit reveal?
No, I hadn't.
It just revealed it early this morning, late last night. It looks just as cool as the Chevy one. But they actually took a slight more Formula One approach to the front wing, where it's got all those cascade elements on the end. So it's going to be really interesting to see who uses what pieces when.
And that's the kit that allows you to use any piece you want at any given time, essentially?
Yeah, basically you buy the aero kit as a whole, and then you can put as many or as few of the pieces on as you want. Well, I say that was the rule the last time I bothered looking. It's entirely possible it's changed, but that was going into this season. That was going to be the rule for it. And I really hope they stuck to that, because again, that could create an entire field of different looking cars, which in a spec series would be one of the most incredible things to pull off ever. I think they start in 2 weeks at this point. It's either 2 or 3 weeks down at Long Beach, which is a crazy track to think that they still even go to, because it is such a tight circuit. But yeah, Autosport overestimates the acceleration on those a little bit, but their brakes really are amazing. Like, I was driving one around Bathurst, and coming into the chase, that really, really high speed, oops, I did not mean to go up a gear, that really high speed back straightaway, coming into the left-hander there, you don't have to brake with the IndyCar until about 100 meters. And it just scrubs off 100 mile an hour like it's nothing.
Ow.
I mean, I can only imagine how... I mean, it's probably frightening to some extent, but at the same time, to have that much confidence in the car, it's no wonder they're able to drive them that fast around a lot of these circuits. Oh, 153. Qualifying third so far. Oh, yeah. Starting to like this game more and more again.
So did you install Overwolf as well?
No. It's literally just an in-game overlay. And
Yeah, it's doing very bad things.
Yeah, I don't like Overwolf. I keep forgetting to tell people to not install that, because I forget it comes packaged with it now.
Yeah, it's doing such horrible things right now. I was like, why would anyone use TeamSpeak? This is just miserable. It's like lagging my game tremendously.
Well, to be fair, for MMOs, it's actually not bad, because you can sort of use it as, similar to what Mumble has, you can sort of use it as a situational tool, where you sort of set everybody to be where they actually are standing as their characters. So you can sort of identify who's speaking just by where it's coming from.
Nice, okay.
So it does have some neat factors, but again, setting all that up and having everybody stand in the same place in a situation like that almost never happens anyway. So it's a cool
Actually
idea,
beneficial.
but yeah, it doesn't end up being very useful, which is kind of funny. Oh, I need to check when the DLC for this technically unlocks, because I get to drive my Corvette C7 up, baby!
Nice.
I wasn't actually sold on the DLC, because it was $10 for the Nordschleife, which I don't care about, and a bunch of cars, but then I saw one of them was the C7R, and one of them was the Nissan GT3. And I was like, oh, all right. Fine, Kunos, you can have my money.
Yeah, it's definitely one car that I always want is the Corvette. Don't care which
Mhm.
one they issue. It's like, yes, please, I want that one.
Yeah, all of those racing V8s sound so good. Race Room has 3 different versions of the C6. It's kind of awesome.
Nice.
Because one is the GT2, one's the GT3, and oh, technically 4 versions, but the ADAC ones are the same, just 1 year apart. 2013 and 2014 ADAC versions.
Oh, so much better without that on here. Yay!
Yeah, luckily it's not too hard to turn off. For
I
us,
just uninstalled it.
oh, that works too. Oh, going aggressive. I'm racing a little, it's effectively a Formula Renault 3.5 at Imola. And the chicane here has really high curbs. Oh, don't screw up my lap. Don't screw up my lap. Oh, you jerk. Oh, he took off like 3/10. I was like 8/10 up.
I had a couple of those doing the challenge. I'm like, damn it, car, you just got in my way like that.
Yeah, those challenges just make me sad anymore.
I enjoy doing them because you usually try and remember the settings for it so that I can actually use them later on. It's like, oh, I just realized that I had the not the Sport Ute, but the one that's very similar to that. Can't remember now.
Similar to that.
It's not the Ute, but it's in a similar class. It's the ATC, or God, I can't remember the other car that you can pick.
The category A? The ADC
No.
and the...
Give me a second.
Alright. Because I don't know which ones you're talking about. I thought at first you might mean the Super Tours, but then you said ATC, and I was like, well, nope, not that.
Yeah, it is the Super Tours, the ADC. Sorry.
Oh, the Super Tours are the Holden and the Ford.
What am I thinking of? It's the one with the ADC Presteza.
Yeah, that's in the Touring A.
Okay, I was screwing that up.
Yep.
I realized that I had the gearing for that one just way too high, and I could bring it down considerably, but it was because of the challenge that I figured that out. Because I'm never willing to do that in a race. It's like, I'm not going to drop it down to minus 30 just because, unless I know what that's the setting. And I had it up at plus 10 or something like that, and I dropped it down 3, and then I dropped it down 2 more. I was like, oh, there's where we need to be. Got it. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have known that I was totally geared too high.
Right, right. That makes sense.
I mean, during the race, you can kind of guess that you're high, and it's like, yes, I'm not getting all the way into 6th gear, but you can never guess how much.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. It still just makes me sad, though. I just want to be... I want to be allowed to be as fast as other people. It makes me sad that I'm not. Alright, when does this unlock? Oh, 13 hours, so it doesn't unlock till noon. Darn. I thought I might be able to get it in like 2 hours. Stupid noon release timers. I was also going to check something else.
I have to admit, I'm anxiously awaiting GTA 5.
I'm anxiously awaiting Project Cars.
Yeah, I haven't purchased that one yet, and I don't think I will in the short term.
Oh, you will at some point. When you see
Oh, I
all
know
of
I
us
will.
on it.
And Steam will go on sale, and they'll be like, here, and I'll be like, yes, take all my money.
What in the world was I going to check? I hate when my brain does this. My brain was like, hey, you should check this. And then my brain was like, yeah, brain, you're right. And then I alt-tabbed. And then it was like, hey, look, Assetto Corsa DLC.
The thought ejected.
And now I'm going to remember at some random time and just be like, yep, that would have been cool to check. Oh well. What are the times? Oh, I'm all the way down
So
to
after
6th now.
So after driving the Zonda, I switched from the P1 to the Zonda.
Yeah, it's got so much more downforce than all the other cars. You can't really afford not to run it. That's another one of the issues.
Yeah, on a lot of the cars I drive, I take a lot of the downforce off.
I have to just to be 4 seconds off everybody else's pace. I will say when there's other people racing back there with me, it's not nearly as bad. But it's just the building frustration knowing that I could just pick up my controller and be 4 seconds faster and have the lap feel exactly the same.
Right.
Because like on the endurance challenge for last week with the BMW Z4, my lap felt almost perfect, and then I came across and it was gold. I was like, really? Like it felt the same as like a platinum top 10% lap on a pad.
That hurts.
Right? So I just don't know what to do to get faster, because I'm not going to not use my wheel with it, because it's too much fun.
Right.
Also, welcome back, Brussels. Yay! But that's one of those things where, as long as like Rickson and TikTok are in there, then it's not too bad, because I can at least race against them, and we can smile in the back.
It depends on which track TikTok's on.
No, when he uses his wheel, he's just as slow as I am.
Oh, okay.
When he uses his controller, he's faster than anybody I know. He's wicked fast.
One of the things that always amazes me, and then I can keep up with him ish in a race, but then in the challenges, I'm like, he's got the top time. Yeah, there's no chance I can catch that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still remember the day he was super, super drunk on vodka and still beat all of us in 3 races in a row.
Was that the one where he was talking about he's too drunk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I was the one who convinced him to log on because I thought it would be hilarious. I didn't think he'd be that stupid fast still. But it was fun. For about 4 hours before that, he had just been chatting with me back and forth on Steam, talking about how his buddy had come over with like 2 bottles of vodka and they had just been drinking all night. And so eventually I convinced him to jump on. I was like, oh, this is going to be hilarious. And then he kicks our butt. And I'm like, what the hell? It is nice, though, because in Race Room, I'm consistently faster than him. In Assetto Corsa, I'm consistently faster than him. So I'm happy about that. Now, once he learns to set up cars, I don't think that will be true anymore.
Right.
But for now, he has to use the baseline setups. So I'm faster.
It's actually one of the things I'm pretty good at. I can set up a car for my driving style.
Yeah. I'm getting better at it. It's just some cars have intricacies that are very different. Like on Race Room, the DTM cars in particular, you have to put a lot of downforce on them, which I'm not used to because GT3 cars take downforce off and they still have endless mechanical grip. So it's just very weird. So like a GT3 car, I can have it like 10 or 12 clicks for the rear wing. The same DTM car on the same, well, not the same, a DTM car on the same track, I would probably have to put it like 18 to 20 clicks on the rear wing just to get the same feeling out of it.
Wow.
It's wild. And it threw me off completely because I was doing the GT3 thing and I was setting up everything else the same. I was setting up my suspension the same, my ARBs the same. my brake pressure the same, all of that stuff. And then all of a sudden the car would just spin every little chance it got. I was like, what am I doing wrong? And then I looked up a couple of people's setups and I was like, oh my word, they all have super high rear downforce. I get it.
That's why I'm looping every time.
Yeah. So those sort of things still throw me off a lot. Those little extra intricacies. That's not the word I want, but that's the word my brain brought to the forefront. Yay, brain. Also, this qualifying session lasts way too long. It's like a 12-minute qualifying for like an 8-lap race.
Jeez.
Yeah. Although, I guess to be fair, it's qualifying / practice / let people join time. So it does make sense. But I had used the last 4 laps of the last race as a practice session anyway, so I want to start. One of these days I'll convince you and Sanker to buy wheels. And we can all play Sims together.
I want one.
Well, yeah, same here.
Oh, when did you jump in?
I ninja'd in.
You did. I didn't even hear the little thing telling me somebody joined.
I heard it. It threw me off because I was speaking at the time.
Oh, damn, you can't.
Oh, that's probably why I didn't hear it, because I was hearing you at the same time. Hey! Whoa, did I qualify 3rd? No, there's no way that's true. I qualified 6th. Where's everybody else? Anyone using a wheel, how would you not be using a wheel in Assetto Corsa? Like, I can't get cars to I can't get cars to behave in this game without a wheel. That guy's crazy. Oh, I thought I qualified 3rd because I'm a moron and I was still attached to the wrong car. I'm so smart. Oh, the starter timer is too long. There we go. We got the lights. Which makes me think of that, there's a Kanye song, All of the Lights. Oh, I got a good start. Nowhere to go. Oh man, people going everywhere. Whoa! Whoa! Somebody just landed on top of me. Wow. I am saving the crap out of that replay. Although I don't know if it'll save the right one. It seems to freak out with multiplayer, but that was crazy. Also, my frame rate is not 60 anymore. Wow, there are cars going everywhere. Jean Fernandez, you will be mine.
Odele.
I gotta bounce. My wife just got home. I gotta help her unload stuff.
Word.
Yeah, dude.
I will vote yes for that. Of course it doesn't pass. Ugh. Yeah, you gotta love when you pass somebody cleanly and then they immediately punt you.
Mm-hmm. Happens in every game.
Yep. The punt life. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna have to remember that one. I mean, I understand why it happens most times, but it's just situations that shouldn't happen. Because again, when somebody else gets in front of you, you have to adjust your brake point.
Oh yeah.
Because they're not going to take that corner the same way they did the lap before, and neither are you. And another one. And he immediately leaves after punting me. That's the worst.
What'd he do?
The people that immediately leave after they punt you.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, at least have the decency to stay. And,
So that I can bump you back.
well, not even that, just at least have the decency to stay and say you're sorry before you jet.
Or they were really actually trying to be a douche.
I guess that is possible. Ah!
Does that happen a lot in iRacing?
Well, this is Assetto Corsa right now, but it happens in everything. Although it happens the least in iRacing, just because of the safety rating.
Right.
Yeah, fair point, Brussels. That is probably most of it. Well, it's just funny, because in those situations where they do punt and leave, in my head, they're probably mad at me. The car they punted, because they're probably like, oh, why is he braking there? It's like, because I just passed you, and I have to slow down. But I have the lead through this corner, so you also have to slow down. Oh well, on the bright side, just driving around Imola is fun anyway. I don't like this frame rate drop I get though. It seems to be related to how many people are on the server, which is odd. My guess is it's just trying to render all the cars at once, regardless of how far away from me they are. That's all I can really think of that multiplayer would affect like that. Because as people leave, it clears up. Oh, excuse me. And now I'm just spinning myself because I'm annoyed. This car has the worst steering lock in history.
Oh, what car is it?
The Tautus FA1. It's effectively a Formula Renault 3.5 in a sense.
Okay.
But Tautus is actually the company that makes it, so they named it that instead.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not actually the Formula Renault 3.5, but it's similar power, similar downforce, similar style.
It's close enough to it.
Yeah. Because I think the actual Formula Renault 3.5 is made by Dallara, maybe? It's either Dallara or Lola. I can't remember which. Basically, if it's a racing chassis that's for a spec series, one of those two is almost guaranteed to have made it. They make so many racing chassis. So you just doing your challenges for this week?
Yeah, I'm suffering through Formula B at the moment.
Suffering through, I think you mean wish you had more of.
In your delightful little mind, maybe.
I'm not looking forward to having to do those.
Mm-mm. Yeah, it's on Map Panorama.
Oh, that actually sounds fun. I think I had damage because my car was not behaving properly. But we'll see. I'll probably go into the first turn and do exactly what I did again. And then I can't blame the car because I just got a new one. Felt like it wasn't behaving correctly though. I guess it's possible it was the tires also. If I had really overheated them a couple times. I still think Autosport could really benefit from that also. A mode where tire wear was always on.
What, in all the cars?
Yep.
Pretty interesting. I want to see how your caddy would do.
My rears would be at 0 after the second lap.
But at least you'll be having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a sort of positive.
God, my frame rate has to be like 30. What in the world? The weird thing is I was just in a race with more people than this one, and my frame rate was nowhere near this bad.
It could also be where the server is, too.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be causing me frame lag. Like, this is just frame rate, although I guess theoretically, depending on how the code does things, it could, but it's unlikely. I guess that's a better phrase than it can't be. Is it is unlikely to be that.
Grammar.
Well, personally, I try to catch myself when I use absolutes, because they almost never apply, which is a funny phrase in and of itself, but... I agree. I love Imola, though. It is a fantastic circuit. But I like Circuit Paul Ricard more.
Sadly, I can't say the same thing.
Have you ever driven Circuit Paul Ricard?
Nope.
It's a fantastic track. It has so many layouts.
If I had a sort of Corsa, then maybe I'll say I can, but otherwise I don't.
Well, it's going to be in Race Room at some point, too. And I'd be surprised if iRacing doesn't pick it up at some point. Although, I don't know, they don't do touring car tracks that much. Although, it really would be nice to see more touring car options in iRacing. What is that dude doing? This should be a nice fast lap, at least. Yeah, 53.3. Two hours left. You must work at a different time than you used to, then. Brussels. Because I thought you used to be done a lot later than this. Well, a lot later my time, I should say. "12-hour shifts. Oh my word."
Ew.
I'm sorry you have to endure that, man. Those are... It doesn't matter what you're doing, 12-hour shifts are not fun.
Mm-hmm.
Your body just, after about 6 hours, goes, yeah, screw this. And then your brain follows not long after. At least for me. Also, I definitely had damage because I have not had a hint of a spin since I reset my car. I would imagine you look forward to your days off with a schedule like that. And it's also no wonder you can't do a, can't find a regular way to stream, because that's, I mean, that would suck all of your energy. Oh, it's that kind of schedule where you work a bunch of days in a row, then a bunch of days off. I have another friend that does that. It works for some people. I can't do that type of schedule. Ah, well, that was an interesting race. I'm going to save that replay in case it has that that moment when he landed on my head, because that would be awesome. Let's see. I want to race something crazy. Actually, I haven't gotten a chance to race this yet. Let's see what it's like. I just downloaded this car the other day. Hey, a Red Bull livery. How convenient. Yeah, I feel you there, man. Just gotta do it till you can find something else, more or less. I'm guessing that's part of why you were doing your Maya stuff also. Trying to use that as a gateway to work with a skill. And to be fair, as crappy as game company schedules can be, they're slightly more flexible than that, so there is that. I love how almost always the first thing I do is just drop the front tire pressures by like 4 at least. That looks really bad. Fifth power. Yay! I can actually set it by 10% increments. Yeah, you just gotta stick with it though. Hopefully, eventually it comes back to you. Oh, that's all the higher you can take this car? That means it's gonna bottom out in a bunch of places. Well, this may go really poorly. I've literally never driven this car before, so this will be insightful. No idea how much grip it has. Not that much, actually. I think when I grabbed it that this is somebody's attempt at sort of making a spec Formula 1 car in a sense. Which is a neat idea. It should be off. I usually have it off for single player stuff. Because as soon as you turn it on in single player, it limits you to 10 laps, which is really lame. This car does have loads of downforce. Oh, that is not like it is in Grid. The Donington chicane is much longer, and I was not expecting that.
Regular sized or the shorter?
No, it's just it's longer through the middle, so you can't just cut one line through it. You sort of actually have to turn left, go straight for a split second, and then turn back right.
Oh, okay.
Although this is a mod track, so I don't know how accurate either of them are. Yeah, this is a modded car and a modded track. That is one very nice thing about Assetto Corsa. It really supports that side of the community very well. It makes it really easy for them to toss content in. And so far, they haven't stopped people from posting and advertising mods, even if they are just converted content. So if like somebody takes the time and effort to convert, say, an R-Factor track over or an R-Factor car over, as long as they did the work themselves or they have permission from the work creator to do it, then Assetto Corsa has no qualms letting them post it on their official servers, which is forums, which is really cool. Most games would immediately be super scared of all of that stuff. So that's part of why there's so many pretty well done mods for this. Because a whole lot of them are just transfers, for lack of a better word. These cars are really cool. Like the GP2 and the Formula 1 cars are just so unwieldy you can't drive them, but this is really fun to drive. Which, for a big horsepower beast, open wheel car is really rare. Usually they're crazy hard. Until you do that. And it seems like this Donington track has a really good AI line also. Usually the mod tracks have one single file line for the AI. So they don't know when to pass, where to pass, or how to pass. Nope, can't take it that quick. But evidently there's no course cut there either, so that's funny. I love Donington though. Although I actually wish this was the national version. That version has really grown on me. I used to think it was terrible, but now I almost like it more. Because I think it flows a little better when you have that short chicane back onto the main straight instead of the chicane into the double hairpin. Just feels a little too slow in the midst of a very flowing fast track, you know? Just a tap. Hey, FPS nerd.
User disconnected from your channel.
I'm gonna put a little more downforce in and a little softer on some of this. Oh, did you just DC?
No, I just pressed the wrong button again.
You are
Yeah,
pretty.
meme buttons aren't real friends.
You are pretty much the king of that.
Hey, hey, hey.
Let's try those settings. Yeah, it's almost, what, 2 a.m.? Oh, it's almost 1 a.m. Hey, wait, no, that's not right. Is it really only 1? Oh, it is. I thought it was almost 2. I guess those multiplayer rounds just wear me out. Having to concentrate that hard. Oh, it feels much better under braking now. Hooray for differentials! Now if only I could get the diff setting in Autosport to play that nicely. Although realistically in Autosport it's literally just a diff coast slider more or less. Or diff power, I should say. Because coast would be the brakes. Also, evidently the AI is much better than me in this car. I am stone dead last. This car sounds good though. Diff power is for when you want to control how the car is putting the power down. So a lower power value will make it more stable under power down, but it will also sort of eliminate some of your potential straight line speed. And diff coast is how the differential acts under braking. So if you get really loose under braking, you want to turn your diff coast up. If you get a ton of understeer under braking, you want to turn your diff coast down. And basically it's determining how to allow the rear tires to either spin or not, depending on what the front tires are doing in reference to the coast setting. This car doesn't even sound exactly like an F1 car, but it already makes me miss those old V8s. I do love a racing car that screams. But it's kind of funny, I like a racing car that grumbles and groans and grunts too, but the Formula 1 cars don't even do that. They just don't rev high enough to do anything. They just burble. I have to give it so little braking force for that right-hander.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I just lost all sound in my headphones. Uh-oh. I have a full green bar for input, so if that was slamming some noise
Into your guys' ears, I am
sorry. I think it's something with the force. Can you still hear my mic at least? It looks like that's good. Yeah, I had to mute the sound. Like I said, it's showing a full green bar for me, and the last thing I want to do is just absolutely. Okay.
Alright, now it doesn't have the full green bar anymore. I try clicking here. Please don't break. Oh, I think it just flat out broke Assetto Corsa anyway. Oh, yes it did. Okay. Can you hear me through the mic at least? Okay, good. So, that part of it was fixed. I think Assetto Corsa just freaked out in some way, shape, or another. So, I just had to close the game itself. It's still giving me a full black screen over here. I'm gonna have to close the launcher. Alright. Oh, excuse me. Can you still hear me, Zanker, on TeamSpeak? Okay. Did it ever sound weird at any point for you? Okay, so it's either an Assetto Corsa thing, or an OBS thing, or a combination of the two. Any of those are possible. Now I'll have to get the launcher to grab the game again. Hey, it actually worked this time. My guess is it was probably OBS and Assetto Corsa not being happy with each other. The DLC, Ghost Event, the DLC unlocks today. Today's the 11th, correct? Yes, the 11th at noon Eastern time for me. So noon Eastern in the US, which should be... Normally it's GMT -5, but I don't... That will depend slightly on your daylight savings time where you are. If you have switched over yet or not, or if you switch over at all. But it's at noon GMT -5 is when it should unlock tomorrow. Or today, sorry. So in about 11 hours. Yes, 11-ish hours. This doesn't have AI yet. Circuit de la Sarthe I don't mind running with the AI, but they have to complete 3 laps before you can finish a session, or you can skip a session, and it takes them forever to finish 3 laps there. I love that track though. That doesn't have an AI groove, neither does that. Neither does that. I don't know if this one does. Never raced Mission Park. What direction does it go? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that doesn't look that interesting. Most Sport is just the weird little freaky thing. Oscherschleiben. Yeah, screw it, let's go to Paul Ricard. These things should be a blast around there. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it doesn't do that crazy thing again. It freaked me out too, because literally my headphones just, I heard this little pop and then no sound whatsoever. So my first thought was, oh god, I've ruined my headphones. Which would not be good at all. Oh, it didn't save my last setup because I didn't finish that session. Let's redo all of this. 1 liter. Oran Park I just don't have enough experience with. 3, 2.4, 2.4. Yay, even numbers. Personally, I like soft suspension around here, which is why I'm reducing so many of these numbers so drastically. Although Sanker can't see that, so he's like, what the hell are you talking about, Willis? If you didn't have a potato, I would say you could just watch at the same time, but I was going to say, I think it would just cry for mercy. That should be alright. Keep that nice and soft. Hey, Salazar. Sorry, what were you saying? Why? Oh, no, I was just saying hi to Salazar. Suffering? I think you mean enjoying yourself more than you ever have in your entire life. Those cars are so fun. Yes, it is. Oh, this circuit is so good. Also, legitimately, this car is a ton of fun. I might have to start putting my server up with this car. FPS nerd, that's awesome. That reminds me of, uh-oh. That reminds me of, Gran Turismo 2, when I set up the, they called it the Escudo. It was effectively the, I can't remember what car it was, Suzuki something. But anyway, when I set that car up in such a way that it would suddenly, the front end would suddenly lift off the ground, and it would, yeah, and it would shoot up to like 400 mile an hour. That was so fun to do that with. Really? Oh, fair enough. I forgot you're a youngin'. Oh no, it just never grabbed it. Oh, OBS didn't grab the sound again. Oh, OBS, please. Why you gotta be this way? I'm just gonna have to force it to... Oh, it's not gonna... Okay, what I have to do to fix this is take the stream down for a second and put it back up because of how OBS works. So it will literally be a tiny interruption, but it will come immediately back.